only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name in my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I made a promise, can't nobody take it. I chose to put you above all the nations. Out of your grace, I chose to awaken. We made a covenant, don't you forsake it. Come get protected while they going crazy. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. I woke you up in your land of captivity. I do not change, I want you to remember me. Laws and commandments, I gave you the remedy. Go read the testimonies for your memory. I sent them prophets, but you wasn't hearing me. I come to you if you really come near to me. I heard your cry, now it's time to take it of me. I'm the one got you from all of your enemies. Who you know open the sea. Them waters was bitter, but I made it sweet. In case you ain't know how to swim, I'm your protector, so I made you walk on your feet. This a reminder you married to me. I just want you to be all I called you to be. They called you niggas, but I made you priests. I'm about to give you back everything. I'm sending plays for you. I'm sending boys, trying up rivers. I leave them dead for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. You heard what I said for you. For you, you only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name in my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel. I'm the reason you in captivity. We made a covenant, you ain't remember me. You broke the covenant, I sent your enemy. Get out my land since you wasn't fearing me. I'm the reason they put you in chains. I'm the reason they switched up your name. I'm the reason why you in the hood. I'm the reason of all your pain. I'm sending floors fast, daily. Think I don't look. Y'all my babies, ain't my son. Must be crazy. Come out that system, come out of that leg. They got that military, it would not phase me. It would not move me, it would not graze me. Remember Egypt, I did all that for my people. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name in my home. Yeah, that's my home. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name in my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How you all doing this morning? How you all doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. But also, we at Breaking Strongholds Ministries, we're celebrating today the Feast of Trumpets. Today, the Feast of Trumpets, today and tomorrow. So today is the Feast of Trumpets that we're celebrating. And I'll be reading a little bit about the Feast of Trumpets. Well, how you all doing today? How you all doing? I hope your week been well. I hope that the Most High have blessed you over and abundantly with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope that you have seen the Most High's will. I hope you've seen His judgment. I hope you have seen His word come to pass. I hope you have seen everything about the Most High this week. I hope He has really blessed you. I hope He has protected you and has given you wisdom and knowledge and understanding. You know, I hope your offspring have had a great week this week. My week is okay. It was okay this week. I can't really complain about nothing. Just trying to stay out of the way of people. You know, that's all I've been trying to do. Just really stay out of the way and let people be them. And me be me. That's all. I really haven't had a whole lot going on. I'm kind of happy about that. But let me go ahead and read Exodus chapter 20 this morning. Exodus chapter 20 verses 1 through 17, and it says, and it reads, and El spake all these things, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Els before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the Sabbath day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever. So let it be. So let it be. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Breaking Stronghold Ministries, good morning, good morning. YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. Yeah, I'm going to read you a little bit about the Feast of Trumpets this morning, because we're in the Feast of Trumpets today and tomorrow. So some people are going to celebrate it on the 26th and the 27th. It's just depending on where you are. It says the Feast of Trumpets. It says the blowing of the trumpet is when the children of Israel will blow the trumpet at the beginning of months. And to go to war. Listen to that. And to go to war, they will sound or blow the trumpet. And the Most High will remember them before they go to war, and will save them from their enemies. Celebrate during the 7th month on the Enoch calendar. It is sounding of the alarm for the coming of the Messiah. The feast of the trumpet is mainly to for the sounding the alarm for the coming of the Messiah. Our first celebration is in the fall of the year, joyful and praise back to our Yahuwah. A call or a start of war. I want you to understand that. Blowing the trumpet is a call or a start of a war. Understand that. And an alarm to wake up Israel at home and abroad. Okay? And this also reads that we are to celebrate this holy day by giving a holy convocation or gathering, a feast unto Yahuwah. Okay? That's what the Feast of Trumpets is all about. It's about calling of war. Calling to war. Again, prepared for a gathering, coming together for some specific reason. Okay? So I'm going to be coming out of the book of Leviticus this morning. Leviticus chapter 23. Verses 23 through 25. And the key verse is going to be verse 24. But it ain't number 3 passages. But it's telling us what we should and should not do on the Feast of Trumpets. Okay? But it's just letting us know that this time here we should be getting ready to come together because something is on the horizon. And I want us to understand that something is on the horizon. And it reads in verse 23 through 25, it says, And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe or Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath. Today is the Sabbath. Ye shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. A holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. Okay? And the key verse is key verse 23. And it says, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. Okay, if I may give a title to the text today. The trumpet is about to blow. The trumpet is about to blow. That is the title of the text today. The trumpet is about to blow. And the words for today, the word trumpet is a 14th century word. It also means trump. Trump means something that is about to blow. Something is about to blow, but they put pit on the end, trumpet. It is used to build an anticipation and tell the reader that are alarms or announcements or warning is about to take place. An alarm, an alert, an announcement or warning is about to take place. It's used chiefly in wars and military exercise. A trumpet or trump is chiefly used in war or military exercises, but it is also used to build an anticipation or tell the reader that an alert, an announcement, or warning is about to come. Announce. Announce means the act of giving notice. Proclamation, publications, to make known formally. Bring news to bring news to. Okay? And also it reads, the year of Israel's national life was marked out by high and blessed convocations, which preserved its unity, kept the people in mind of the great past, and kindled high ideas and enthusiasms. There is a divine precedence, therefore, in the observance of the new year of the month, with its holy service and commemoration in its early stages. Okay? A pause must be called in life. Business, haste, and family should have an opportunity of gathering at solemn ceremonies, participation in which will leave everlasting memories with the coming of generations. Probably the mature souls outgrew and ceased to observe days. But remember that the absence of the temple in the New Jerusalem did not imply that there was no worship, but that every moment was worship. Okay? So the Feast of the Trumpets is mainly about a notification of something is going on. Something is going on with Israel. Something is about to go on with Israel. Something is about to happen in your life. Something is about to happen in Israel's life. Something is about to happen with the nations around the children of Israel. It was all about blowing and giving a notifications of something. These are the feast holidays that we have to observe. We have to come together and be able to observe these feast days, to be able to celebrate and remember the rejoices moments that the Most High have did for us. We have to recognize that the Most High have delivered us out of a lot of situations through wars and military exercises. He delivered us out of slavery, of the physical bondage of slavery during the Civil War here in America in 1776. He delivered us out of the oppression, the physical oppression, the chains. He delivered us out of that. So right now, as we look around society and we see that the trumpet is blowing or is about to blow, and we have to understand that that blowing is not just for Israel, but it's for all the nations round about. Round about Israel. It's around about everything that's going on. And that's something that we have to understand, that most nations, they can see as well as understand what's about to take place. Because a lot of nations around the world are they are preparing for what's to come. Even though the trumpets are being sounded, they are preparing for what's to come. But due to their lack of understanding of the book, they don't understand how it's going to come, how it's going to take place, what's going to take place, and so forth and so forth. And that's what today I'm just going to give you 3 examples of the trumpet being blown today. And I'm going to give you some news articles today. I'm going to read a little bit out of the Third Testament today, just to give you some notifications of what's going to take place. Okay? So I'm just going to go through examples today. It's not going to be a real intense teachings today, but it's going to give you, this is about notice, this is about preparation, this is about preparing you for what's to get ready to come. Okay? So let us go to the first example. Let's go to the first example of let's go to the first example of what's going to happen. Let's go to Joshua. Joshua. Joshua chapter 2. I'm going to read a little bit on Joshua chapter 2, and then I'm going to go to Joshua chapter 6. Because we got to understand that what I just said, a lot of nations know what's about to take place because of the prophecies that were spoken of. A lot of nations know, but they just don't know how it may take place because the misunderstanding of the children, who the children of Israel is. In Joshua chapter 2 verses, I go down to verse 3 and read a little bit, because I want us to understand this is about when Joshua getting ready to send the spies over to the city of Jericho. And he sent the spies, and the spies went into the harlot's house named Rahab. But I want us to understand something in this conversation about Rahab and the people over in Jericho. Go down to verse 3 in Joshua chapter 2, and I'm going to read a little bit of it. And it says, and the king of Jericho sent. Okay, let me go to verse 1 so you can understand it a little bit better. 2 and 1, it says, and Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came to an harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there. It was told the king of Jericho, saying, behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the land. So it was a notification sent out to the king that 2 spies from the children of Israel are in Jericho, searching it out, see how the land is, see what's in it, see all the things about the city of Jericho. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, bring forth the men that come to thee, which are entered into thy house. For they be come to search out all the country. Listen, this is what the king was saying. And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said, thus there came men unto me, but I was not which they were. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gates, when it was dark, and that the men went out. Whether the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. So the men was looking for the 2 spies. So they left the city. They left the city when the gates was closed, right before the gates was closed. And they was looking for the 2 spies that was sent to Jericho to spy out for the land. So the 2 spies went over to Jericho, went into the harlot's house named Rahab, and Rahab hid them from the people in Jericho. The reason why Rahab hid them was very important. The reason why she hid them was very important. Listen, in verse 6, and she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stocks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the man pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them was gone out, they shut the gate. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, listen to this one, listen to this. I know that the Lord, or Yahuwah, has given you the land Jericho, and that your terror has fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. Everybody know that the city of Jericho was given to the children of Israel, even the people in Jericho. But they just had to go through the process of doing it. They had to go through the process that the Most High was going to take them through so that they could be able to acquire the land. Okay, in verse 10 it says, for we have heard how the Lord, how Yahuwah dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you. Listen to that. Listen. For we have heard how the Lord has dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you, when you came out of Egypt. and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Shyam and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. People have heard of the victories that you've been through. Even though you was getting ready to go through some complications, even though you went through some wars and some problems and some issues, people still heard how you overcame them, Israel. How you was able to overcome the obstacles in your life. And see, I say this I say this all the time. People do not acknowledge the Most High during the time of slavery. They do not acknowledge that He actually got, or the Ruach got us out of slavery by using the North and South to fight against each other. That was a miraculous move that don't nobody give the Most High credit for. That was a war, a conflict in Egypt. Okay? And even if you look at, like the Most High was dealing with me this week, right? He told me this. Whatever you're going through with whoever you're going through it with, I always do the right thing. That's the only way that I can be on your side. If you're going to do what they do, I can't help you because you're no better than them. But he said, whatever you're going through in life, always do the right thing. Always do what I ask you to do so that I can be on your side so that you can be able to receive the victory. Okay? So, now, whenever you look back in our history here in America and we tried to do the right thing and we did the right thing, we came out on top. We won, we was able to win the victory. Whenever you're doing the right thing in your life, whomever you may be, if you do the right thing, you will always come out on top. The Most High will never leave you nor forsake you. So, it is very important that you understand that that is the reason why they was able to come out of Egypt. That's why they was able to win the wars against the Amorites, because they was doing the right thing. And what is the right thing? Following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Okay? So in verse 11 is the very most important thing out of chapter 2. It says, as soon as we had heard these things, what things did they hear? They heard about the parting of the Red Sea. They heard about the destruction of Egypt. They heard about the 2 kings and the Amorites being destroyed. When they heard of all these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Yahuwah your El, He is God in heaven above and in the earth beneath. See, Rahab was acknowledging who the Most High was at that point in time. They had already won the victory. They had already won the war even before it even started to happen. The children had already won because of their past history with the Most High and how society seen them win their wars, seeing things happen to them that no man got them out of. They was in situations that human flesh could not get them out of. Only some divine power or some divine spirit was able to get them out of the situation that they was in. That's why Rahab and the people in Jericho was so jacked up, because they said, now the children of Israel is getting ready to come and take our land. The children of Israel is getting ready to now come and take our land. Why? Because the land of Jericho was a promise. It was a promise. That's why the children of Israel got the land of Jericho, because it was a promise made to our forefathers. It was a promise made to them, and that's what I want to deal with. Okay, let's go to chapter 6. Okay? So now when we're dealing with Rahab, I already understand that Their land is our land, but they don't know why our land is their land. Our land was their land because it was a promise given to us by our fathers. It was given to our forefathers from the Most High. So that's the reason why the city of Jericho was ours, because it was promised to our forefathers that we would take it. But it was never told how we was going to take it. It was never told. So now when we look at the promise was given to our forefathers, and the only thing that we had to do would be a part of it. I want to go to verse, let me go to something. Chapter 5. Let me go to chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 13. See, the Most High already prepared everybody for what was to come. Everybody was prepared. Chapter 5, verse 13, it says, "And it came to pass when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there stood a man over against him with sword drawn in his hands." Listen, this man was an angel. This man was a messenger. It says again, "And behold, there was stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went unto him and said unto him, Art thou for us or for our adversaries?" And listen to what the angel said. And he said, "Nay, but as captain of the host, but as captain of the armies of Yahuwah. I am now come." And Joshua fell at his face to the earth and did worship, and said unto him, "What saith my Lord unto his servant?" And the captain of the Lord's army said unto Joshua, "Loose thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou stand is holy." And Joshua did so. So the Most High sent, Joshua sent the spies over there to deal with the land, and he ran into Rahab. Rahab had told the two spies, "Listen, man, we already know this land is y'all's. And the reason why we know this land is y'all because of what the Most High did for y'all in y'all past." And I want y'all to understand something. Let that resonate with you. I'm going to deal with it personally, but I'm going to deal with it on a nationwide scale too. Personally, people know your destiny because of what the Most High did for you and what He's doing in your life. You just got to continue to walk in your purpose, because the simple fact is the Most High had already sent people your way to help you along your path. You just got to do and be what you're supposed to do and be. Just like in verse 13, He had sent an angel with a sword to be able to go fight in the city of Jericho for the children of Israel. The only thing that the children of Israel had to do, we're going to talk about in verse chapter 6, is to just do what the Most High say do. They didn't have to fight because the Most High had already put people in place to fight for them. And see, a lot of the times we worry about things that we shouldn't worry about, because what's for you is for you, and can't nobody stop it.
That's right.
That's the thing about we have to understand. That's on a personal. But on a national level, the Gentiles who attach themselves to the Hebrews, you have to, we as a nation of people have to continue to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, so that the Most High will continue to bless us and give us the things that He wants us to have. That's something that we have to understand. We can't do what we want to do in this day and time and think that we're going to be blessed, because it don't work that way, because the judgment of the Most High is coming back faster than you could think. You can do something to somebody today and it's going to come right back on you tomorrow. And you're going to wonder why it happened to you. It's going to be because of what you did to somebody else. The Most High's judgment is coming faster than you can imagine. Look at the solar company Pink Energy that did a lot of negative things to people in this society, in this country. They abused their authority and their privilege for over 8 years. And now they no longer exist because of what they did to the people. And see, 8, new beginning. The Most High is not playing with people these days. Don't think that you can do something to somebody you know that's wrong and you think you're going to get away with it and it's not going to happen. So the only thing that the children of Israel got to do is just continue to walk in the laws, statutes, and commandments, because the land that the Most High promised us, He's going to give it to us. We just got to be obedient because He already done sent help along the way. We just got to continue to do, because His promise is real. And the city of the story of Joshua is about the promise that he had to fulfill. Joshua had to come in and take over from Moshe because Moses could not go over he could not go over the Jordan River. He had to stay on the other side. Someone else had to pick up the torch and take him up the other distance. So now we're talking about the trumpets was blown because of a promise that was made to our ancestors. The trumpets was blown because the promise was made. The notification was sent out to the people. Yes, the children of Israel is on their way to claim their land, to claim their destiny, to claim whatever was promised to them. The trumpets was blown for announcement of proclamations. It was known to give an alert to something that would get ready to happen. Now, when we look at Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 10, I just read. And it says, "And now Jericho was straitly shut up because the children of Israel, because they closed all their gates around the city. And the reason why they closed the gates up because the children of Israel were getting ready to come take the city. And the city of people in Jericho was afraid. It says 9 went out and 9 came in. That means that the doors were shut real tight. But now the Most High is getting ready to give some instructions. It says, "And Yahuwah said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thy hands Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor." He just didn't give Joshua the city of Jericho. He gave the king, and he gave the mighty men of valor, means they're military men. He gave all these people to Joshua. And he said, "Ye shall compass the city, and all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. Listen, and 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram horns." This is the only thing that he said they're going to need. A ram horn. "And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow the trumpet. Blow with the trumpet. And it shall come to pass that when they make a loud blast with the ram horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout." That's all they had to do. Listen to what's going to happen. "And the walls of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him." The people the children of Israel had to blow with the trumpet 7 times around the wall, and the wall was going to fall down. But the Most High had already sent the angels already to prepare everything to take place. The only thing that we had to do, our ancestors had to do, was just blow the trumpet. Send a notification, send an alert to the people in Jericho that their time is up. Their time is up. Their time is up. They already knew that their time was up because we just read that in chapter 2. They just didn't know what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. But in chapter 5, we just saw that the Most High sent the angel with a sword to be in front of us when we get ready to go to Jericho. So the only thing that the children of Israel had to do was just blow the trumpet. And when they blew that trumpet, they was receiving the promise that the Most High gave them. They were given that proclamation, that notice. Verse 6, And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram horn before the ark of the Lord. And he said unto the people, Pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram horn passed on before Yahuwah, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord followed them. And the armed men went before the priest that blew with the trumpet, and the reward came after the ark, and the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. They were blowing the noise. They was blowing the trumpet, giving notification. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any words proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you. Then shout. I bid you shout. Then shall ye shout. Okay? Go down to verse 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpet, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for Yahuwah has given you the city. The only thing they had to do was send out a notification to the people to get out my house by blowing the trumpet. By blowing the trumpets. And the people did the rest. They ran because they was afraid. And the city shall be accursed, even it and all that are therein, to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messenger that we sent. That's why I said that the Gentiles could be attached, because Rahab was attached. Verse 20. So the people shouted when the priest blew the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the walls fell flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and ass, with the edge of the sword. The Most High was there already to help them fight. They was blowing the trumpets to let the people in Jericho know that, hey, your time is up. Our promise is here. Your time is up in our land, and our promise is here. And I want us to be able to understand that in today's society. I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 15. Everybody know this chapter. Everybody know this verse. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Our time was, we're blowing the horn to say that our time was up in 2019. Now it's time for us to be able to reap our blessings. Now it's time for us to get what we're supposed to deserve. Now it's time for us to receive the promise. Now it's time for us to receive the promise that the Most High told us He was going to give us. Genesis 15 and 13 is a promise to us. Jericho was a promise to our forefathers. Genesis 15 and 13 is a promise to the present day Hebrews and the Gentiles who attach themselves to the Hebrews. So we're blowing the trumpet. We're sounding the alarm. We're giving the notification. We're making this proclamation, or we're making this announcement that, hey, our promise is here. It's here right now. You just have to pay attention to it. You just have to understand it. That's the first example of blowing the trumpets. Let's go to Joel chapter 2. Joel chapter 2 verse 1. Listen to this. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountains. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahuwah cometh. For it is nigh at hand. It is nigh, is right here at hand. You're going to blow the trumpet for the promises. That's the first example. You're going to blow the promise. You're going to blow the trumpet for judgments. That's what's talking about in Joel. They're blowing the trumpets to let the people know that judgment is on the land. They're blowing the trumpets now to let the people know that the judgment is on the land. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm in my holy mountains. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahuwah cometh. For it is nigh at hand. A day, and this is what's going to happen. This is what the judgment is about. A day of darkness and a gloominess. A day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. They say there's going to be this such great nation going to come upon the land to bring judgment upon this land. It's never going to be another army like it ever before. But we're sounding the alarm to tell you that, hey, something major is getting ready to happen. And it ain't going to be nothing that you're going to be able to do about it, because this army that's getting ready to come and attack, you ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. And let me read you something. And I'm going to go back to that. The New York Times. The New York Times. Ukraine war comes home to Russia as Putin imposes draft. Okay? Ukraine war comes home to Russia as Putin imposes draft. This came out September the 22nd, 2022. Okay, I'm going to read two paragraphs for you. A day after President Vladimir Putin announced a call-up that could sweep 300,000 civilians into military service. Thousands of Russians across the country received draft papers on Thursday, and some were being marched to buses and planes for training, and perhaps some a trip to the front lines in Ukraine. Mr. Putin's escalation of the war effort was increased across the country. According to the interviewers, Russian news reports and social media posts, as the day wore on, it became increasingly clear that Putin's decision has torn open the cocoon shelling much of Russian society from their leader's invasion of a nation, of the neighbor. I want you to hear this and put this in your conscience. Mothers, women, and children were saying tearful goodbyes in remote regions as officials. In some cases, ordinary teachers, school teachers, delivered draft notice to houses, apartment blocks. In mountainous eastern Siberia, the Russian news media reported school buses were being commandeered to move troops to training grounds. So understand that Putin just implemented a draft and he just got initiated 300,000 soldiers into the military for war. In chapter 2 and verse 2, in Joel, a day of darkness, of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountain, a great people and a strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Listen, talking about a great war is going to happen with a great army. China is over there in Ukraine. North Korea is trying to go to Ukraine. Turkey is with Ukraine. Turkey is with Russia. Okay? A fire devours before them. Listen to this. A fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. On the second example of blowing the temple, as great judgment will come upon the land. This mighty army will see the Garden of Eden before them, but once they go through it, it's going to be like Katrina. It's going to be just like what happened up in New York on 9/11. They're going to leave disaster and destruction behind them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains, shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devours the stumble, as a strong people set in battle array. So when the children of Israel was blowing the trumpet, they were blowing the trumpet in Jericho because of a promise. In Joel, they're blowing the trumpet because they're giving notification and proclamation of public For judgment is coming upon the land. Let me read you something else. The Insider's website. The Insider's website. Next year's food crisis will be different from this year's. Here's how it could change for the worse in 2023. Insider, that's the title of the title of the text, the title of the article. It's the Insider's publication. Next year food crisis will be different from this year. Here's how it could change for the worse in 2023. This article came out in August 28, 2022 at 9 p.m. Let me just read you a little bit of it. It says, the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and the insurance of food supply chain chaos have collectively driven up the prices of everything from wheat and sunflower oil to lemons and avocados. While the supply chain has been in a state of disruption since 2019, the dislocation has been compounded by the war between Russia and Ukraine, both of which are major wheat exporters. This has contributed to food inflations that's hitting the most volatile, especially hard. That is not right. Let me read that over. This has contributed to food inflations that's hitting the most vulnerable, especially hard, according to Mercy Corps, a humanitarian organization that distributes aid to needy globally. Skyrocketing food prices in 2022 has meant that the cash assist we provide vulnerable families does not go as far. The main constraint to accessing food is decreased purchasing power, coupled with increased food prices. Okay, it's telling us that we're going to go into a major food crisis next year. Everything is going to happen next year. We're blowing the trumpet to let you know. We're sounding the alarm. We're sending out a public notification that something major is on the horizon. Something is on the horizon. We're telling you that Russia and Ukraine is at war. Russia just drafted 300,000 people. They're letting us know that we're finna get ready to have a major food crisis. Joel chapter 2 verse 6, it says, before their faces the people shall be much pain. All the faces shall gather blackness, and they shall run like mighty men, and they shall climb the walls like the men of wars, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Letting you know that we get ready to go through something major. They have sounded the trumpet. They have gave the alarm. They have sent the publications. And those things are to let us know that something is on the horizon. That's why we have to celebrate today and come to a gathering to say we're sounding the alarm that the Most High is going to. He gave us a promise of land. But he also gave us a promise of judgment on the land. That's the second example of blowing the trumpet. But also, he gave us a promise of redemption. He gave us a promise of redemption. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Verse 30. 29 through 31. But I'm not going to read that out of the King James Version. I'm going to read it out of Joseph Smith New Translation. Joseph Smith New Translation of the Bible. And I'm going to start in chapter 29. Verse 29 in chapter 24. Okay? But I want us to understand it, okay? And it reads, "And they shall hear of wars and rumors of war. Behold, I speak unto you for my elect's sake. For nations shall rise against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms. And there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places." We're hearing about earthquakes. We're hearing about pestilence. We're hearing all these things. We're sounding the alarm. We're blowing the trumpets. We're sending out publications and notifications. And again, because iniquity shall abound, the love of men shall wax cold. But he that shall not be overcome, the same shall be saved. And again, this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come, or the destruction of the wicked. Because the judgment is becoming not for the righteous. The judgment is coming for the wicked. That's why we're sending the alarm. That's why we're blowing the trumpets. That's why we're sending publications out. Because the judgment is coming for the wicked and not for the righteous. And that's something we need to understand. That's why we got to continue to obey the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why we got to honor this day as a feast holiday. A feast holy day. Then it says, "Again shall the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophets be fulfilled. And immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun shall be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken." Meaning the great war. "And verily I say unto you, this generation in which these things shall be shown forth shall not pass away until all I have told you shall be fulfilled. Although the day will come that heaven and earth shall pass away, yet my words shall not pass away, but all shall be fulfilled." I'm not finished yet. "And as I said before, and after the tribulation of those days, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken, then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven." Listen to this. Now we're talking about redemption. We're talking about redemption. "And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming out of the clouds of heaven with great power and great glory. And whosoever treasures up my word shall not be deceived. For the Son of Man shall come, and he shall send," listen to this, "and the Son of Man shall come, and he shall send his angels before him with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together the remainder of his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree, when its branches are yet tender, and it begin to put forth leaves. Ye know that summer is nigh at hand." He said, "Whosoever treasures up my word shall not be deceived, but we shall also be saved and called up with him." See, the trumpet sounds when a promise is being given. The trumpet will sound when judgment was here. A trumpet is sound when the Most High is coming. Also in 1 Thessalonians 4:13 it says, "But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the words of Yahuwah, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahuwah shall not proven them which are asleep. Prevent them which are asleep. For Yahuwah himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangels, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahuwah in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahuwah." Listen to this. That's why we're blowing the horn. "Wherefore comfort one another with these words." So when we blowing the trumpet, right? We blowing the trumpets to let you know that a promise is on the way. We also let you know, we're blowing the trumpets to let you know judgment is on the way. Because in order to have your promise, it got to be a judgment. But also, we also got to understand that it got to be a redemption. Redeem means to bring back to. So because we was in captivity for 400 years, we had to go through our judgment, but now we got to be brought back to our redemption. Okay? So we have to understand that the Feast of Trumpets is about giving public notification of something that's going to take place. We gotta let people know, hey, these things are about to happen. These things are taking place. Everything must take place. The promise, the judgment, and the redemption. But all of these things, the judgment is for the wicked. The promise and the redemption is for the children of Israel and the righteousness and those who attach themselves to children of Israel. Okay? So, I'm going to read a little bit out of the Third Testament. I'm going to read a little bit out of the Third Testament. Okay? And they're talking about the reflection on the Second World War. Okay? I'm just going to read a little bit. It says, "These are times of testing." What we get ready to go through, because I'm sounding the alarm. Because I'm sounding the alarm, I want to give you something. Hey. Let me do this one first. Okay. Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. Okay. It says press. I'm gonna go back to the Third Testament. This is another news article. I read you the first news article was the Russia-Ukraine. Then I read you one about the coming of the food crisis in 2023. Now I'm reading you two more articles. Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. Press release. It is now 1,000 seconds to midnight. Okay? Now I'm going to read a little bit. It says, the doomsday clock now closer to midnight than ever in its history. Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists cite worsening nuclear threat. Lack of climate actions and rise of cyber-enabled disinformation campaign and moving clock hand. Okay, let me read a little bit more. It says the iconic doomsday clock symbolizing the grievous perils facing humankind is now closer to midnight than at any point since its creation in 1947. To underscore the need for action, the time on the doomsday clock is now being expressed in seconds rather than minutes. Today, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists Science and Security Board in consultations with the Bulletin Board of Sponsors, which includes 13 nobles, moved the doomsday clock from 2 minutes to midnight to 100 seconds to midnight. That means that if this doomsday clock hits 0 seconds, that means that we are at stake for nuclear war. Right now we are at 100 seconds. And the reason why today is the Feast of Trumpets is to give you notifications, get you aware of what's to come. It's not to make you sad. It's not to make you feel bad. It's not to stress you out. It's not to make you, this is not a fear thing. Teachings today. This is something to get you on notice on what's on the horizon. Look up Bulletin of the Atomic, ATOMIC, Scientists. Okay? Then it says press release. It is now 100 seconds to midnight. And read the article. Also, let me point something else out to you too. What I wanted to point out to you last week. And then I'll get to this. Okay? This going to be in effect in 2023. This is the Illinois Criminal Justice Information. The Illinois Criminal Justice Information. This article, it says the 2021 Safe T Act, or the ICJIA roles and responsibilities. Okay, now I'm just going to read a little bit of this. I'm just going to read a little bit of it because I think you all need to understand. In Illinois, they just passed a law that was going to go into effect where kidnapping, the people who do kidnapping, armed robbery, vehicular homicide, murder, people can come stay in your house, and the only thing that they're going to do is give these people a ticket. Some people call this the purge law. All this is going to take effect in 2023 in Illinois. So look up the SAFE, SAFE-T Act, or the purge law in Illinois. And I'm going to read you a summary, okay? It says the SAFE-T Act is an extensive incorporating many aspects of the criminal justice system and crime victim support. The Act covers 3 areas of criminal justice reform: policing, pretrial, and correction, jail or prison, described in a list below. Due to the scope and breadth of the Act, these lists are not detailed and may not be exhausted. Okay, let me see something. Okay, what it says is, this act offers new standards for when police use force, require officers to provide aid after using force, require officers to intervene if other officers use unauthorized or excessive force, prohibit police officers access to any military equipment, supply, surplus programs, or purchasing specific types of equipment. But also, let me see something else. Let me see something else. Hold on real fast. Oh, hold on just 1 second. Okay, what it does, let me see if I can pull up another one. Okay. It said, this article, this says, what they cannot be. Okay, it's going to be, these are some crimes that can be committed up under the Purge Law or the Safety Act in Illinois, and starting in January 2023. It said there are 12 non-detainable offenses where the new law will end cash bail. The law includes second-degree murder, arson, drug-induced homicide, robbery, kidnapping, aggravated battery, burglary, intimidation, aggravated driving under the influence, fleeing and eluding officers, drug offenses, and threatening a public official. This is what's going to happen in Illinois in 2023, in January 2023. That means that anybody who commit those crimes will not go to jail. They will be given a ticket to appear in court. So look up the Purge Law in Illinois and read that. Also understand that the doomsday clock is at 100 seconds, meaning that if we get closer than that, we're at nuclear war. Understand that Ukraine, Russia has just drafted 300,000 civilians for the military. Understand that they just said that we're getting ready to go into another food crisis on the globe because of how everything is going. I'm sounding the trumpet. I'm blowing the trumpet to let you know that we're getting ready to go through a promise. We're getting ready to come to a promise. But in order for us to get to that promise, we got to go through judgment. And also, I'm also blowing the trumpet to let you know those righteous will be redeemed. But let me read you a little bit and then I'm going to let you go. Out of the Third Testament. Okay, out of the Third Testament, page 274. And it's talking about the reflection on the Second World War. Understanding that a lot of times people care about people that really don't care about people. It says, these are times of testings, of afflictions and bitterness, times in which mankind suffers the consequences of so much hatred and ill will towards one another. Behold, the battlefields were only the sound of fireworks, firearms, and anguished cries of the wounded are heard. Mountains of mutilated corpses who only yesterday were bodies of strong young men. Can you imagine these when for the last time they embraced their mothers, their wives, or their child. Who, if he has not drunk from that bitter cup, can imagine the pain of those farewells? Thousands and thousands of angered parents, wives, and children have seen their loved ones depart for the field of battle, of hate, and of vengeance, forced by the greed and pride of some few men, without light and without love for their fellow men. Because all this stuff, the reason why judgment has to come, reason why all this stuff is taking place, because the greed of some few men. Those legions of strong young men have not returned home because destroyed. They remain on the field. Behold, the earth, Mother Earth, more merciful than those men who govern the people and believe themselves masters of the lives of those fellow men, has opened her bosoms lovingly to receive and cover them. My spirit keeps vague over every being, and I am watchful even to the last of your thoughts. Truly I say to you that there are among the armies who fight for earthly ideas and ambition. I have discovered during this moment of rest, men of peace and good will have men of peace and goodwill who have been made into soldiers by force, the draft. From their hearts escape a sight when my name emerged from their lips, and tears run down their cheeks with the memories of their loved ones, parents, wives, and children, or brothers. Then their spirits, without any other temple than the sanctuary of their faith, and without any altars other than their love, without any light other than that of their spirit, elevates itself before me, asking forgiveness for the death of its intentionally caused with its weapons. They seek me to ask with all the strength of their being to permit them to return to their homes, or that, at least, if they are to fall under the attack of the enemies, to cover with my mantle of mercy those whom they leave on earth. To all those who seek my forgiveness in that manner, I will give my blessings. Listen to this. I will give my blessings, for they are not the one to blame for killing. Others are the assassins, the ones who will answer to me for what they have done with human lives. Once the moment of their judgment arrives, many of them who love peace ask themselves, why have I permitted them to take to the very field of battle and death? To which I say to you that if their human understanding is not able to comprehend the reason that underlies all this, their spirit on the other hand knows that it is fulfilling a restitution, a redemption. I ask those who follow me to pray for world peace and to watch over the peace on earth. Nation will soon elevate their prayers to ask me for the peace which I have always proposed to them. I have permitted mankind to first taste the first fruit, and this is the most important one, and I'm going to stop. I have permitted mankind to first taste the first fruit of what they have sown. Listen to that. I have permitted mankind to first taste the first fruit of what they have sown. I want them to observe human suffering that exists on earth. The rivers of human blood that has been shed, the mountains of that existence, and the cities that has been destroyed. I have wanted men with their hardened hearts to see the desolations in homes, the desperation among the innocent, and mothers who, driven mad by pain, kiss the dismantled bodies of their children. I want those individuals to become fully aware of the anguish, sorrow, and desperation that exists among humanity, so that they might feel humiliation due to their ignorance. I want them to hear their conscience so that they can become aware that their grandeur, power, and wisdom is a lie. What is truly great only comes from the divine spirit. When these men open their eyes to the truth, they will become horrified, not of the scene they observe with their eyes, but of themselves, and unable to run away from the snare and the voice of their conscience. They will feel that they are in a state of darkness, burning with remorse, for they will have to account for each life, every bit of pain, and every last drop of blood which was shed because of them. Step by step, men advance to the valley where they shall be gathered for judgment. Still, those who make war and whose hands are covered with the blood of their brothers dare to speak my name. Are these by chance the fruits and flowers of the doctrine I have taught you? Did you not learn from Jesus how he forgave and blessed those who offended him, and how he died giving life to the executioner? Men have doubted my word and lacked faith. This is why they have entrusted all their own strength. That is why they have entrusted all their own strength. I have allowed them to be deceived by the fruits they harvest from their own works. For only in this will they open their eyes to see the truth. The title of the text today is "The Trumpet is about to blow." The reason why the trumpet blows, because the promises that were made to Joshua and the children of Israel. The reason why the trumpet blows is because the judgment has to go to the wicked. And the reason why the trumpet blows is for the redemption of the children of Israel. That's what the 7 vials and the 7 plagues are for, because everything has to take place. And the trumpet is just a symbolization of an announcement of what's to come. Our salvation comes when we go to understand that what the trumpet is blowing, what the trumpet is giving us a notification of. The trumpet is giving us a notification right now of judgment. And it's for us to take heed in order for us to be saved. In order for us to be saved, we have to take heed to that. We have to take heed. It says in Matthew, it says again, because iniquity shall abound, and love of men shall wax cold. But he that shall not be overcome, the same shall be saved. We have to be able to overcome all these obstacles for us to be able to receive our salvation. We have to continue not to be tempted by the wickedness of the world in order for us to have salvation. We have to be able to be happy and be thankful for the promise that we have, that the Most High gave us in order for us to be saved or have salvation. We have to be able to understand the Feast of Trumpets in order for us to have salvation. We cannot just think of these things as these feast days as nothing. We have to be able to understand what they're for. So that concludes today's teachings. I hope that you got something from it. I hope that the Most High gave you what you needed, because the trumpet has been blown, or the trumpet is about to blow. And the only way that you can be saved is you got to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. That's the way that you can be saved. So let me pray so we can go. Abba, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Abba, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Abba, we thank you for this feast day. We thank you for the Feast of Trumpets. We thank you for sounding the notification. We thank you for what you're doing on the earth. Abba, we just ask that you help us to be able to endure to the end. We ask that you help us to be able to overcome the judgments. We ask that you let